Chapter 16 The Welcome Visitor. Sham and Rahul were sitting in the garden and enjoying the cool morning breeze. Their final exams had just gotten over, so they were thinking how to spend their 2-week vacation. Sam and Rahul were staying in their homes while the rest of their friends were out visiting different places in the meantime. Sham's uncle was coming with his family to spend the holidays. So, Sham and Rahul were planning to go camping with him. Sham and Rahul loved bird watching. Sham always carried his binoculars whenever he went on a picnic. A binocular is an instrument that helps you see far away things. The binocular helped Sham to see the birds clearly even if they were far away. Sham asked Rahul if he remembers that they saw a lot of birds when they went for a picnic while they were in class 2. To which Rahul fondly replies, yes, and both of them started thinking about what amazing day it was. When suddenly they saw a lovely bird perching on the mango tree nearby. Birds have claws, I hope you know that. Just like we have feet, they have claws instead of toes. So when they sit on branches, they use their claws to hold onto the branch. This action is called perching. Sham's uncle, Mr. George, comes towards them. He asks the children if they were enjoying the vacation. Rahul was very fond of Uncle George because he used to share his adventure stories with them. He used to find Uncle George's narratives very interesting. Sham asked Uncle George about the bird sitting on the mango tree branch, and so does Rahul, for he too was equally fascinated by the particular bird. It had visited their garden for the first time and was lovely to look at. Uncle George says that this bird was the great pied hornbill. Both Sam and Rahul now became even more curious to know about this bird. Uncle George suggested them to move somewhere else and discuss, as this bird was shy and has a habit of getting scared at loud noises, including talking loudly or walking loudly. He does not want to disturb or scare the bird away, so the three go into the veranda and continue with their conversation. Uncle George tells the boys about the great pied hornbill now. Hornbills do not build any special nest. Instead, they live in traditional nests. What are traditional nests? Hollows found in tall trees of the rainforest. In that hollow, hornbills build their nests and remain in the same hollow year after year. They only leave that nest when the tree falls down or is cut down, and also when there is some serious disturbance. Sham asks if the bird will build a nest in their mango tree. Uncle George says no. He feels that this bird has probably come in order to look for food and feed the female bird. Now he tells about how hornbill prepare their nest. The hornbills first clean the nest and check if it is safe. Obviously, they will not make their nest where there are predators who will kill them and their babies for food. So after cleaning and checking for safety, the female bird gets into the nest and shades its feathers. The fallen feathers now form a soft quilt for the eggs. Curious thing indeed. Rahul asked immediately if the quilt is similar to the ones we use in winter. Quilt is like a blanket. It is soft and warm, just like that. The female hornbill's quilt is cozy and warm for the eggs to hatch. After the eggs are hatched, the mother bird and the father bird feed their young ones fruits, snakes, and lizards. At this, both Sham and Rahul are disgusted. Snakes and lizards make a yucky meal for humans. We do not eat snakes and lizards, but birds do. Uncle George tells the kids even more facts about the hornbill. The parent birds teach the little ones how to fly, but not in the open. If the little hornbills fly in the open, eagles and owls will hunt and eat them. Sham and Rahul compare this to their life and conclude it's just like how their parents do not allow them to stay out late for their safety. Uncle George asked if they had made any new entries on birds in their journal and then suggest that he could take a picture of the hornbill for them while they could make an entry about it. Sham's uncle quickly went to fetch his camera and the boys checked if the bird was still on the mango tree. Luckily, it was there, sitting quietly, and they were able to get a photograph of it. After this, they sat down when Uncle George asked if they knew about Bombay Natural History Society and Nature Forever Society. He especially wishes to know if they knew what was the theme for 2011. Sham and Rahul had no clue about this. Uncle George tells them that the theme was Chirp for the sparrow, Tweet for the sparrow. He feels that all bird lovers like them should come together and protect their winged friends. Sham and Rahul happily agree, and they also add that the first step should be going to the camping trip with Uncle George. Uncle George starts laughing. He knew that sooner or later they would ask to go on a camping trip with him. He asked them to first get some grains in order to feed their new friend, the great pied hornbill, before it went away without bidding them goodbye. Sham immediately rushes into the house, followed by Rahul, who was already dreaming of the wonderful time they would have when camping with Uncle George.